Hey guys, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. I'm finally back with my partner Sam Stein. When somebody has a horrible day, I want to discuss it with Sam Stein, particularly when it's somebody that is detestable, and that's Elon Musk. I had a boss once. This was kind of a cringe thing. We made fun of them for this, but they called it when they had a bad day. Bad, horrible, no good day. They said that they were Alexandering. And
I
and
don't
I
get it.
do think that it's possible that Elon is Alexandering today.
Uh,
Just a few facts about his day. Tesla stock is down 5.6% just on the day. We'll have more on that. He was demoted. You and Andrew Egger did a great video on that already. We can do that a little more. The SpaceX Starship had its second failure in a row, leading to a spectacular shower of debris. This one was a this one was a double negative for Elon because the debris kind of splashed back onto
so
his other job.
yeah,
The FAA, which is overseeing the FAA, they had to halt some flights into several Florida
it was
airports.
so much debris.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still in a legal battle with his fourth baby mama, and I guess this wasn't today, but as I mentioned, the cyber trucks were just being absolutely pelted with beads at Mardi Gras in a inglorious fashion. So I don't know which one of the. You've already talked about the demotion, so which one of the other ones do you want to start with there for Elon, or do you have any big picture thoughts on his day?
Well, no, I think you covered the big picture. He doesn't had many bad days in the past like 10 years. Like these the ones were just bad,
That's a good
right? So
point.
like this feels a little abnormal. There's also this big Wall Street Journal piece out tonight, which kind of gets at the Tesla component of this. And I mean, to a degree, I guess this is predictable, but like absolute falling off the cliff popularity among Democrats in terms of owning a Tesla. Like it used to be a source of pride toward in that car because it's so environmentally conscious compared to the other automobiles. And now I think there's one quote in there, it's like driving around in a big red MAGA hat. And so people just don't want to be in a Tesla anymore. And I think that kind of gets to the pelting of the cyber trucks. I mean, look, I'm not a big car person, so don't take my word for it. But I think the cyber trucks are ridiculous. Like they look ridiculous. They're monstrosities. They're so big. And putting aside even the association with Elon, I don't think I would drive one of those. But now they become again symbols of just MAGA politics, and that was Elon's choice. I mean, he made this decision. Um, he might benefit in the long run from it because he's got all these good government contracts that he could probably get his hands on. But in the interim, at least for today, it's been a financial punch in the nuts.
Yeah, just a couple other things on Tesla. Then, if we're going to start there,
Sure.
Dave Portnoy of Barstool had a
I saw
viral
this.
tweet going around where he was like, "I own Tesla stock. Maybe Elon should get back
Get
to
back to
work."
work. No, there's
Uh,
something to let's pause for a second. There is something to I was thinking about this in preparation. Like, is he not accountable to the shareholders of Tesla? Like at some point, aren't they going to be like, yo, your stock is like just falling off a cliff and like you need to focus on this? Look, I looked it up. Like on January 29th, 2021. So this is like right when Biden, first week of Biden, uh, stock was selling at 264 a share. On January 17th, 2025, this is last week of Biden, 426 a share. So pretty substantial growth during the Biden
good.
years. This today, it's back down to 263 a share, right where it was the first week of the Biden presidency. And I
Wow.
just think like if you're a Tesla shareholder, if you're on the board or whatever, and you have a stake in this company, like I would be pissed. Like I think Portnoy is absolutely right here. It's like you have fiduciary responsibilities to like make this company work, and you're not helping. If anything, you're hurting.
Yeah, I mean, it's down just 29% This month down
Yeah,
29%. I mean, that is a opposite of the rocket to the moon. Like you're going to the
exactly.
center of the Earth. So that's negative. That's interesting though. I didn't realize. So it's below, I guess,
It
not
just
the
hit today
yeah
where it was at the first week of Biden's term. So 4 years of fairly steady growth. I mean, it was pluses and minuses.
yeah.
That was height of COVID. Obviously, went down a little bit and then went back up. And then there's all this tension with Biden over the fact that Biden didn't invite him to the EV summit and all this stuff. And of course, Biden was pushing for every car company to go into electric to level the playing field. But through it all, Tesla really progressed in terms of stock value, and then it's all been pissed away in the short period of time since Donald Trump's election.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
All right, and then to his other business that he's supposedly running, SpaceX. Boy, why don't we show the video there of the SpaceX? This was it a crash? What do you want to call it?
Yeah, it was an explosion. Yeah, let's do that. What? Oh my God.
I just saw that Starship blew up. There it is.
Holy. That's a lot of debris. It's a lot of debris.
That's a lot of debris. I mean, it happened in Texas, and it was halting flights going
All
into
over
Palm
the
Beach.
Yeah, it's like everywhere.
So, like,
I mean, it's
is
actually quite pretty to look at, but I'm sure Elon, it's like, oh my God, again? This is like the second time in a month, right? I feel like we just experienced this.
Yeah, explodes mid-flight, second time. If you want to know how serious this is, I pulled up at Elon Musk on X, and his last tweet was 3 hours ago, as we sit here right now. Starship launch attempt now! Exclamation point SpaceX. I mean, Elon has gone 3 hours without tweeting. He has done two retweets. He's done two retweets.
Yeah,
he's done two but I mean, for Elon, and this is a man. Have you ever seen
That's
that
when you know
chart?
shit's serious.
Yeah, about like how many of the hours of the day that he tweets. I mean, he's tweeting basically everything except for like 5 to 7 a.m. So like
also, that's not true. I woke up from Morning Joe today, and like my For You was just like unbelievable. It's like Elon tweets. It was unbelievable. But yeah, he's gone quite conspicuously silent on the SpaceX thing.
So that's a bad sign. And then I haven't had a chance to watch your Edgar video, but the demotion, whatever you want to call it, like just this notion that like that he has to be reined in, that Trump is saying things like use a scalpel. I don't know if I believe how much of this actually is going to happen. Like he's still going to be able to run roughshod around the government, but like there have been now a series of things where they've had to pull back,
right. So this is what Edgar wrote about and what we were talking about, which is, and I'm with you. Like, I want to like be upfront and transparent about it. I think this is more show than anything. And Jeff Stein over at the Washington Post had an interesting observation about it too, which is like he's got his people in all these agencies. He's got access to all his data, and they've already foreshadowed that they're going to actually do bigger, more dramatic moves in the spring when it comes to government reduction. So I don't particularly think this is the end of DOGE. But that being said, this is the first time that Trump has really publicly kind of pushed back against DOGE or called into question how much power it should have. And then on top of that, I mean, every day and multiple times a day, there's some sort of embarrassing headline about how JV the operations are, how little they know, and how badly they're screwing things up. Agencies that have to be rehired, personnel that are critical that would let go, lawsuits that expose how stupidly they organized everything, revelations of the staffers having like weird ties to like fringy groups and stuff like that.
The cuts that they posted having to be like taken down because they weren't real.
Yeah, it's like
they exposed the CIA black site today. There's so much crazy shit happening. We didn't even get to that on the YouTube page that they accidentally exposed the CIA black site when they like listed our buildings.
I saw that viral tweet, but I haven't seen the accompanying articles. I've been hesitant about it.
Okay, but we're not sure that's true.
Yeah, well, the fact that we think it might be true, I think is like
is concerning.
It fits a pattern, which is, I mean, the story with the sites is that they posted like something like 430 government buildings that they thought would be good to sell, and among them were like literally the departments. Like, oh, let's just sell the Department of Justice headquarters. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like,
the Department of Energy. For anybody, if you looked at the Department of Energy building, it is like this Soviet honeycomb.
Brutalist bullshit. Yeah.
Like who is going to buy that? Like,
I thought we should buy it. I honestly thought we
the Bulwark move into the Department of Energy.
Like create a little Venmo fund that people could contribute to, and like we'll just move into HUD. It's ours. Like who's going to buy it? But the fact that they did this at the same time that they're doing this, everyone has to return to work policy. Now that might just be malicious on their part, and they want people to like work in the halls and the stairwells. But it's also just it's so hackneyed. It's so poorly executed. And I just wish I know people are like, well, he's a genius and this is exactly what he did at Twitter, and like this is just a corporate takeover strategy. And it's like, yeah, but that didn't work, right? Like Twitter lost severe amounts of value. The company had glitches all the time. The product hasn't been made better. It's just been made like more dumpster fire-ish, and we kind of like that, I guess.
Community
to a
Notes
degree.
is good.
You like me, that's fine. He made a nice little product. But beyond that, it's like just because he had a template and he's adopting the same exact template for government, I don't think that makes him a genius. It just means he has a template that he can't, you know, improvise off of or do things differently around. And so to me, this just is it exposes a lack of creativity or thoughtfulness. And I think, all these headlines, it may not diminish him in Trump's eyes all that much, but it's enough to cause embarrassment that Trump feels the need to like at least go public and say, we're reining him in a little bit.
Well, and eventually, I don't know. Look, maybe I'll be right. Maybe I'll be wrong. To me, this looks just like an unbelievable shit show that is going
It
to
is a shit
completely
show.
consume the government. But I know, but to a point where like the problems become so real that they have to be addressed. Right? Like at this point,
Right.
there's and at that point, Trump starts looking around and he's like, I need somebody to blame for this.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's the big point that people are missing, which is we're only 2 months in, not even. No,
Not even
we're like a month
close.
and a half in. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I mean, the problems that have been created by DOGE are real, but they're not like that comprehensive, right? Like, yes, firing like the nuclear safety crew is really bad. But what would have really been bad is if like you fired the crew and then like we had a real problem at Los Alamos, right? Like that's really bad. Firing the food inspectors is bad, especially during bird flu. But like, what if we have like a really severe salmonella outbreak? I mean, and it goes across the board. At some point, the real world actually does intervene in a more severe way than it has to this point so far. And that's when things get really rocky. I mean, we are just a month and a half.
Speaking of the real world intervening, I think that there's some signs that some balls are being dropped for Elon. I
What
just
gave it away?
Well, in addition to the spectacular shower of debris over at SpaceX and Tesla's stock dropping and like Doge being a complete clusterfuck, we got together, the two of us, to discuss Ashley St. Clair, his fourth baby mama. But I don't think we've discussed together the what happened a couple of days ago with Grimes, the third baby mama. Grimes, who I love, and I will broach no criticism of her. I know some people aren't for it. I will always be for Grimes. She was tweeting at him, begging him to answer his phone because they have a sick kid, and she needed him to get on the line to deal with something.
Right.
This is somebody that is in way over his head. Like, if you have a baby mama that is posting publicly, please call me. Your child is sick. Like, and meanwhile, you are like manically tweeting, and the two companies you run are like dealing with major crises. It seems like he like really does not have his handle on things, I guess.
Well, it's not just one baby mama tweeting him, it's two baby mamas. And then on top of that, like you have all these problems around the government, and then your rocket exploded for the second time, and your companies are like losing like billions upon billions of value. That's bad. It's not good.
Right. Like if you were the EVP of the rocket company and you just had your second explosion, you're kind of like, I need the CEO around the clock. Like I've done crisis communications for companies back in the day when I was a PR man. And it's like when there's a real crisis of the company, like you need the CEO to be kind of around all the time. And
you would think so. But I mean, I just don't understand. Again, we talked about this in the first week, but like, where does he have the time to do any of this? I mean, it's so severe. There's so much going on. He's so in demand, and obviously he's focused so much on the government. And I don't want to get too much into the psychoanalytical stuff, but like, I do think, frankly, that, there's something wrong when you have two children, two mothers of your children begging you to like return calls and you're just not doing it. And I think you need to probably reconsider where your priorities are. And who knows what is going on privately that we don't know about. But to me, that's like a real red flag. And yeah, of course, if your rocket ship explodes, you should absolutely stop what you're doing and focus on doing that. Again, it gets back to like accountability. He doesn't really have any. He just goes about and does his business. He really harms people in ways that I think people don't appreciate. Like the amount of tip line stuff we get from people who've lost their jobs and whose spouses have lost their jobs. Their lives have been ruined. But
Yeah.
for him, it's like nothing. And so, eventually you think this stuff catches up. But in the moment, you're sort of wondering, like, is there something that he wants to will there be ever a time where he feels like he needs to recalibrate, or is he just like flying by the seat of his pants at all hours on ketamine, basically?
Probably the latter.
Probably the latter,
Federal
yeah.
government folks, thebulwark.com/tips. If you're dealing
Yes.
with anything, thebulwark.com/tips. You're doing anything you want to share with us as far as federal government job displacement or crazy shit that's happening?
If you see Elon just
Elon
warming
shows
around.
up or Big Balls
Yeah.
shows up, just get to thebulwark.com/tips. Tesla shareholders,
Yes,
good luck.
please.
Best of luck to you.
Send us tips too. We want to hear your thoughts,
you let us
please.
know if you're having any concerns about the fiduciary responsibility. And baby mamas, you can send us tips as well. All right, Sam Stein.
That we don't know you yet and you feel compelled to tweet of him, just send us a tip instead.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you soon. Thanks, Sam. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Tim. Glad to have you back, bud.
Bye. Hey, YouTube fam, if you want to support the Bulwark, the best way to do it is by becoming a YouTube Bulwark Plus member. The Bulwark is truly independent. We have no corporate overlords. We're not settling any dumb lawsuits with Trump. By joining, you help support our work, and you can get a bunch of perks right here on this platform. Ad-free content, bonus videos, live streams, and some emojis of me, which I guess some people want. So come join, come hang out, become a Bulwark YouTube Plus member, and I'll be seeing you in the comments. So behave.